welcome. We are keep reading the book. Sorry for I had a little problem. Now it's solved. Okay. On the plane, he ordered a martini from the hostess to quiet himself. Both Don and Johnny had briefed him on the character of the movie producer Jack Wolf. From everything that Johnny said, Hagen knew he would never be able to persuade Wolf. But he also no doubt whatsoever that the Don would keep his promises to Johnny. His own role was that of negotiator in contact. Lying back in his seat, Hagen went over all the information given to him that day. Jack Wolf, one of the three most important movie producers in Hollywood, owner of his own studio. He had had dinner at the White House. He had in, inter, 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 entertained G. Edgar Hoover in his Hollywood home. Sorry for mistake. But none of this was as impressive as it sounded. He didn't have any personal political power. Hagen there would be no way to handle Jack Wolf. Now open his briefcase and tried to get some paperwork done, but he was too tired. He ordered another paperwork done, but he was too tired. He ordered another martini and reflected on his life. He had no regrets. Indeed, he felt that he had been extremely lucky. He was successful. He was as happy as a grown man could expect, and he found life interesting. Tom Hagen was 35 years old and tall man, very slender, very ordinary looking. He was a lawyer, but didn't do the actual legal work for the Carlin family business, so he had practiced law for 3 years after passing the bar exam. At the age of 11, he had been a playmate of 11-year-old Sonny Carlin. Hagen's mother had gone blind and then died during his 11th year. Hagen's father had become a hopeless drunkard, a hard-working carpenter. He had never done a dishonest sin in his life. But his drinking destroyed his family and finally killed him. Tom Hagen was left an orphan who wandered the streets and slept in hallways. He too had an eye infection. Neighbors whispered that he had caught an inherited from his mother, and so therefore it could be caught from him. He was shunned. His Sonny Carlin brought his friend home and demanded that he be taken in. Excuse me. Tom Hagen was given a hot dish of spaghetti, the taste of which he had never forgotten, and then given a metal folding bed to sleep on. In the most natural way, Don Carlin had permitted the boy to stay in his household. The Don himself took the boy to a special doctor and had his eyes infection cured. He sent him to college and law school. There was no show of affection, but the doctor treated Hagen more courteously than his own sons. It was the boy's decision to go to law school after college. He had heard Don Corleone say once, a lawyer with his brief case can steal more than 100 men with guns. After he passed the bar exam, they had married to start his own family. The bride was a young Italian girl from New Jersey. After the wedding, which was of course held in the home of Don Corleone, offered to support Hagen in any business he desired. Tom Hagen had bowed his head and said to Zidane, "I would like to work for you." Zidane was surprised. "Yet, please, you know who I am?" He asked. He hadn't really known Zidane's power, but he nodded. "I would work for you like your sons." But Zidane had insisted that put in the 3 years of general law practice in addition to his duties for the family business. When he was made the acting consigliere, the other powerful Sicilian families referred referred contemptuously to the Cullen family as the Irish gang. This had amused Hagen. It had also taught him that he could never hope to succeed. Zidane as the head of the family business, but he was content as it had never been his goal. It was still dark when the plane landed in Los Angeles. Hagen checked into his hotel, showered and shaved, and watched dawn come over the city. He ordered breakfast and newspapers to be sent up to his room and relaxed until it was time for his 10 a.m. appointment with Jack Wald. The appointment had been surprisingly easy to make, but the 10 a.m. appointment was a bad sign. It meant that he would be would be first on the appointment list. That he would not be invited to lunch. It meant that Wald held him in a small world. His analysis was correct. Wolf kept him waiting for a half hour past the appointment time. Hagen didn't mind. The reception room was very plush, very comfortable. Finally, a middle-aged woman came to lead him to the office of the movie producer. Jack Wald was a tall, powerfully built man with a heavy punch, almost concealed by his perfectly tailored tailored suit. Hagen knew his history. At 30, he had left New York and moved west, where where he pioneered motion pictures. At 48, he had been the most powerful movie magnate in Hollywood. At 53, he transformed himself. He took speech lessons, learned how to dress and how to behave socially. When his first wife directly died, he married a world famous and beautiful actress who didn't like acting. Now, at the age of 60, he collected all master paintings, was a member of the president's advisory committee, and had set up a multi-million dollar foundation in his name. His latest passion was his own racing established, on which he had spent $10 million in the past year. He had made headlines by buying the famed English racing horse car Har- Hartone for the price of $600,000. He received Hagen courteously, despite all the money spent. His age showed, but there was an enormous vitality in his movements, and he had what Don Carlo had the air of man who commanded absolutely the world in which he lived. Hagen came directly to the point that he was an emissary from a friend of Johnny Fontaine, and this friend was a very powerful man who would pledge his gratitude, gratitude and undying friendship to Mr. Wolf if Mr. Wolf would grant a small favor. The small favor would be the casting of Johnny Fontaine in the new war movie the studio planned to start next week. The face was passive, polite. Who favors can your friend? Who favor? Sort of. Who? What favors? What favors can your friend do me? Walt asked. There, there was just a trace of condescension in his voice. Hagen ignored it. He explained, you've got some labor trouble coming up. My friend can absolutely guarantee to make the trouble disappear. You have a top male star who makes a lot of money over your studio, but he just graduated from marijuana to heroin. My friend will guarantee that your male star won't be able to get any more heroin. And if some other little things come up over the years, a phone call to me can solve your problems. Jack Wolf listened to this as if he were hearing the boasting of a child. He said harshly, "You trying to put muscles on me?" Hagen said coolly, "Absolutely not. I've come to ask a service for a friend. I've tried to explain that you won't lose anything by it." Wolve made his face mask of anger. He leaned over the desk toward Hagen. "All right, you smooth son of a bitch. Let me lay it on the line for you and your boss. Whoever he is, Johnny Fontaine never gets that movie. He leaned back. A word of advice to you, my friend, Edgar Hoover. I assume you've heard of him. You heard of him." Wall smiled sardonically. "Is a personal friend of mine. If I let him know I'm being pursued. Pursued. You guys will never know what hit you." Hagel listened passionately. He had expected better from a man of worthy stature. The abuse itself bothered him not at all. Hagel had learned the art of negotiation from the Don himself. Never get angry. The Don has in, instructed never make a threat, reason with people. The art of this was to ignore all insults or threats, to turn the other cheek. Helen had seen the Don sit at a negotiation table for 8 hours, swallowing insults, trying to persuade a notorious strong arm man to change his ways. At the end of the 8 hours, Don Carlo had thrown up his hands in a helpless gesture and said to the other man at the table, "But no one can reason with this fellow," and had walked out of the meeting room. The strong arm had torn wide with fear, and messengers were sent to bring them down back into the room, and agreement was reached. But 2 months later, the strong arm was shot to death in his favorite barber shop. So, so Hagen started again, speaking in the most ordinary voice. "Look at my card," he said. "I'm a liar. Have I? You the one written word. Let me just say that I am prepared to meet any condition you name to get Johnny Fontaine that movie. I think I've already offered a great deal for such a small favor. Johnny tells me that you admit he would be perfect for the part. In fact, you're worried about your investment my client would find in the picture. But please, let me make myself absolutely clear. We understand your no is no. Nobody can force you or is trying to. We know about your friendship with the Mr. Hoover. I may add, my boss respects you for it. As a mention of money involved interested Interest was aroused. He said, patron, patronizingly. Sorry. So his picture is budgeted at 5 million. Hagen whistled softly to show that he was impressed. Then he said very casually, "My boss has a lot of friends who back his judgment." For the first time, Wald seemed to take the whole thing seriously. He studied Hagen's card. "I never heard of you," he said. I know most of the big lawyers in the New York, but just who the hell are you? I have one of those corporate practice," Hagen said drily. He rose. "I won't take up any more of your time." He held out his hand. Wolf shook it. Hagen took a few steps towards the door and turned to face Wolf again. "If you recognize their recognizer. Oh my God, sir, it was a really hard word. Recognizer. Call me at my hotel." He paused. "My client can do things for you that even Mr. Hoover might find out of his ranch." He saw the movie producers eyes narrowing. Walt was finally getting the message. Late that afternoon, Hagen received a call from the producer secretary that the car would pick him up within the hour to take him out to Mr. Wall, the country home, for dinner. Mr. Wall suggested you bring an overnight bag and he'll get you to the airport in the morning. "I'll do that," Hagen said. It was a thing to wonder about, and maybe Wald was smarter than he had appeared this morning. The home of Jack Wald looked like a movie set. There was a huge mansion, established in pasture for a herd of horses. They had just flower beds and grasses were as carefully manicured as a movie star's nails. Wald greeted Hagen on the porch. The producer was informally dressed in a blue silk shirt over the neck, mustard color slacks, soft leather sandals. He handed Hagen a martini glass and took one of her himself from the prepared tray. He seemed more friendly than he had been earlier in the day. He put his arm over Hagen's shoulder and said, "We have a little time before dinner. Let's go look at my horses." As he walked toward stables, he said, "I checked you out, Tom. You should have told me your boss is Corleone, but let's just enjoy ourselves now. We can talk business after dinner." Finally, Wald led him to a stall in the stables, which had a huge bronze plaque attached to its outside wall. On the plaque was the name Harton. The horse inside the stall was even to the Hagen's inexperienced eyes a beautiful animal. Hartom's skin was jet black except for a diamond-shaped white patch on his huge forehead. The great brown eyes were like golden apples. The black skin over the body was silk, woven with childish pride. "The greatest racehorse in the world. I bought him in England last year for 600 grand." He stroked the horse's mane and called out softly, Hartom." There was real love in his voice, and the animal responded. After dinner, Hagen waited until they had both lit up huge Havana cigars before he asked Wolf, "Not Johnny get it or not? It can't I can't, Wolf said. I can't put Johnny into that picture, even if I wanted to. The contracts are all signed for all the performs, all the cameras rolls next week. There is no way I can swing it. Kagan said impatiently. Mr. Wolf, the big advantage of dealing with a man at the top is that he can do anything he wants to do. He puffed on his cigar. No, don't you believe my client can keep his promises? Wolf said drearily. But I believe you can get Johnny off heroin, but I don't care about it. I can't finance my own pictures because I hate that bastard Fontaine. Tell your boss he is one favor I can give, but he should try me again on anything else, anything at all. He hadn't thought you bastard. Then why the hell did you bring me all the way out here? The producer had something on his mind. Helen said coldly. I don't think you understand the situation. Mr. Carlin never asks a second favor where he has been refused as the first. Wolf shrugged. I'm sorry, the answer is still no. Hagen said quietly, but I can't see you don't take me seriously personally. I think that it is a mistake. Wolf is if he had been waiting for such a moment, let himself get angry, understood perfectly. He said, that's the mafia style, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? All olive oil and sweet talk, and when what you're really doing is making threats. So let me lay it on the line. Johnny Fontaine will never get that part, and he's perfect for it. It would make him a great star, but he never will be because I hate him, and I'm going to run him out of the movies. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for watching, and see you later.